How's it going, guys? Rosie here. As you can see, I changed the name recently from HWA Tuna to Fishing with Rosie. Rosenberger is my last name, and my boys call me Rosie, so that's what we're going with. Today, we're going to make some walking poppers out of this dowel rod I have here. This is a hardwood dowel rod that I got from Home Depot today. We're going to make these ones a little different than the ones I made in the past. I'm actually going to cut a portion of this off and start making the walking popper from the end. We're going to shave it down, and then we're going to start to sand it by hand, and hopefully it comes out pretty good to a point. So we'll get so far today, and I'll show you in this video how I'm going to do it, and at least what I do, and how it comes out to a point before it needs epoxy and paint. So let's get at it. Alright guys, so just rough cuts here. We got what looks like the head with the back, sides obviously, and the bottom. We'll curve this out a little more, give it more of a little like a kind of a bend down at the back. But I did just kind of angle cut the front. I only wanted a little bit. Because I prefer that this thing did get a nice spit of water also after I drill out the pocket. So let's get that pocket driller now, and we'll start to hand sand it. Alright, so I just started here by finding the center of the circle. I'm going to go ahead and just start with a 1/2 inch drill bit, get it going fast. And then kind of decide from here how deep I want my pocket. You can see right now I've probably gone about 3/8 in. I kind of want this to be a weird, like hollowed out, shallow pocket, because I'm going to weight the back on this, so I don't want to take out too much of the front. Because I'm going to weight the back of this. So I don't want to take out too much of the front because I need it to be equal buoyancy. So I'm going to try and hollow out a little wider with the drill bit as much as I can without going deeper until I need to use the Dremel, and then we'll get the Dremel out. Okay, so ultimately I probably ended up about a 1/2 inch deep. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the Dremel out, and we're going to get this lip to where we want it. Alright, so what we got here is pretty much a decently even lip around. You can see, like I said, I'm about a 1/2 inch deep. Into that lure. And what we're going to do now is sand it down by hand and see how she turns out. Okay, so we're just going to take, I think this is 180 grit sandpaper. Kind of want to I would say over halfway the corner of a piece of sandpaper. And kind of get your thumb in there. And I just kind of spin it. And what that does is it just like, the Dremel pretty much took care of the okay, so I got a nice deep pop dish on this. You can see it's not really that big body wise. So about 3 inches. With hooks we're probably looking at about 4. And I'd like to put a feather on it, so we'll probably get about 5 total inches. We'll put a little tail on it, tail that will sit in the water. Track the bass from below while it sits still. So let's continue to get this sanded, and we'll start making it look good. Alright, so I need to get the tail, but you can kind of see there that it's a lot smoother than it was before. Spin this thing around here and see how we're looking at the side there. So we've got a little imperfections here we'll need to clean up. Let me try and get those now. That must be from the grinder. What I got here now is this popper. Again, I got that kind of that underspin on the bottom for the belly. I got that slight angle on the head. Come on, focus now. There we go. So I got that slight angle on the head, that little under dip on the belly, and that arch on the back, and obviously the popper in the middle. Now this dish is real sharp. I'm going to try and make a thick epoxy on the lip of the dish. But I think that this thing is going to pop, and like I said, I'm going to try and weight it down in the back. I'm hoping that the hook in the tail kind of weights it down. We'll get some bigger size hooks on this. But now let's get it cut off for this and see what she looks like. Alright guys, so we got the popper cut off the rod. As you can see, this thing looks really good. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of fit the sandpaper in the cup of my hand, and where I cut it in the back there, I'm just gonna kind of ride it inside there. And to be honest, if you don't have a drill or don't have a lathe or can't make a lathe or anything like that, honestly, if you can get it down to a point where even you like cut it with a knife or grind it with a Dremel, you can actually use your hand like this and, you know, sand the whole thing to whatever size you'd like. You just gotta put more into it. I only do that because it makes it faster, and as you can see, I probably did this in a total time of all of about 15 minutes. And if you got a lot of time, 15 minutes ain't that much. Okay, so here's what we got. It's pretty deep. It may be, that's about a ½ inch, like I said. I think it's going to throw a good pop on it though. So what we need to do is drill out a pilot hole for our eyelet here in the inside. We'll need to find our bottom and then set one here in our back. It did come out pretty well. So let's get that set up and get our mock-up. Alright, so just gonna make sure we got it by the top. And you know, you want your popper pulled in a direction so that it kind of is gonna, you know, it's gonna just give it a direct pull. So you gotta make sure, I kind of want to make sure I want to stay centered here. And if I look in here, I had used that ½ inch drill bit in the center of where I wanted it center is still there. So we're just gonna highlight that. Inside there, and that's where we're going to pilot. And let's see on the back here. We'll try and hit that as center as we can. I mean, thinking maybe just one hook with this, right? You know, hopefully we can get a comment or something on here to say whether or not it should be one hook or two. I feel like if I run two, it's going to be too many, but you know, who's to say that's the case? So we're going to run two on this one anyways, because that's what I'm going to do. So this is my bottom. I'm going to put that second one like here. I like it. So let's get these holes drilled. Alright. Alright, so we got our pilot holes. So what I am going to do is I like to super glue my eyelets. I just buy these eyelets at Home Depot. I'm just going to start by just dabbing it. I like to kind of fill that hole up. You know, a little extra. A little extra never hurt. And again, we're going to epoxy over this entire thing with the eyelet in it so that the epoxy and the eyelet are kind of like one build. Also like to pay attention to how I run the eyelet here in the face. On this one I think I'm going to leave it horizontal with the body so that I can put a split ring on it and pull from the split ring so that it has as much freedom as it possibly can have, and also like a kind of like, I guess I would say, as much reaction or like free play to what I said. So so we're just going to continue with the rest of the holes here. Go ahead and fill. Again, I'm using pine, so this is a soft wood. When you use a hardwood, I would definitely pay attention to screwing it in and how many times you screw it in, and piloting your holes, because the eyelets will snap right off. Okay, so we got those two. And super glue and skin tends to react really quickly, a lot faster than wood, metal, and super glue, that's for sure. So if you put your fingers on it, it just sticks instantly. I'm going to go a little harder in that one. Okay, so we got our eyelets installed. We got everything super glued in there. It's looking pretty good. So it is just a little chub, but she looks pretty good so far.
You're shadowed in a fragile tone, watching you explode out concrete.
Alright guys, so as you can see, that was the walking popper. This thing is going to be designed so that when you pull on it, it's going to hit the water, pop, and kind of instantly glide. We're going to weight the back of this down, and we're also going to put a feather on the back of this, or a tail, and now we're going to paint it up. But that was a quick tutorial on how I make a fishing lure. Alright guys, so we got this lure hung up. We're going to get this one epoxied with a few of the other ones that I've made recently. I hope that this video helped you guys understand how easy it is to make your own lures. They're expensive these days, and you can make anything that you want if you have the ability and the mindset. It does take a little bit of time sometimes, but to be honest, this one only took us about 25-35 minutes tops. I have built a couple of them before, so maybe it takes me a little bit quicker than it would usually take somebody, but with any practice you'll get this down. So we'll get this thing painted and epoxied and hopefully get some pictures out on Instagram. So you can check me out at Fishing with Rosie on Instagram. See all the other lures that I've made. Follow me up and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, and we'll get some more videos to you guys as soon as we can. Check you later.